Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Camille Smith. I am a counselor for interpersonal violence and abuse, and I am a volunteer at a local crisis center. I wanted to come and talk to you today about domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I wanted to talk about it because it's a scourge, it's a problem, it's a very real issue for many people in the Caribbean and in the Bahamas and globally. If we look at situations around us, I'm sure that many of us have heard about the difficulties of domestic violence. Just imagine if you were going through it yourself, though. If you were going through the stress, if you were going through the torment of being abused in your own home and domestic situation, it is really difficult to deal with. And it really requires that people be sensitive, to be concerned, to be alert, to be interested, and to be willing to help. One of the greatest needs that we have in this country with reference to domestic violence is that we have a need for more emergency shelters. We have a few, but we need more emergency shelters for victims and survivors of domestic violence so that when they are going through a situation, they could call and find a way to get into an emergency shelter immediately so that they can get safety, they can have protection for themselves and their children. They can know that they will have the comfort of another environment to lay their head in, to rest in, to regroup in, to find safety and comfort in. So if you or any of your civic organizations or your corporate agencies or businesses are looking for a cause to get involved with, please consider building or contributing to or collaborating on additional emergency shelters for domestic violence survivors. Ones that would allow survivors to stay there for several months at a time if needed, that can help them and their children to be retained there, to be kept private, to be kept safe, to have classes in, to have counseling sessions in. If you could help, please do so. But even if you cannot help with a shelter, please show compassion. Show care and concern for the people around you who say that they are going through domestic violence. One of the ways that you can help too is if you hear it being talked about, don't overlook it. Don't minimize it. Don't get in conversations where they talk about tapping people up, because tapping people up is another form of domestic violence. That's only a euphemism. So get involved, get educated, become a volunteer, get a group together, make a contribution. Again, if you have funds, resources, corporate sponsorship that could be involved in the creation of emergency shelters, that is a very real concern in this country. We need additional shelters that can provide emergency service as soon as needed. Thank you so much for listening to this one little message. Bye-bye.